Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. Once again, it is the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio show. It is the Outdoors with Larry Ray show, coming to you from the spacious ESPN 790 studios in Memphis, Tennessee. Rebroadcast to you good folks in Brownsville, Tennessee, 95.3. And for the folks in Jackson, Tennessee, News Talk 101.5. All that you want to know about outdoors, you'll hear it on the Outdoors with Larry Ray show. So, once again, the one and the only, the newly dubbed Oracle of the Outdoors, Larry Ray.
We're just going to have to do this more often. You know, this is really good. You know, it took me 17 years to really get this down right. And
yeah, me and Frank both.
Having you both, I was really fired up about having both of y'all here today because I knew it was going to be who can top who. The Oracle's
the Oracle.
Oracle's
That's great.
I like the Oracle.
The Oracle of the Outdoors.
And then you had the ado. Without further ado.
A little French in there, you know.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Sure it wasn't. Okay, anyway. Hey, we're going to switch over right now. We've been talking fishing on Outdoors with Larry Ray and a big event that we got coming next weekend in the Mid-South Junior Fishing Rodeo. But our good friends at Lou's Holding, which includes our good friends at Lou's, also Strike King, of course. Well, I wanted somebody from Hunter Specialties. Hunter Specialties has had a special hookup, no pun intended on words, with this show for many years. Well, now Hunter Specialties is part of that Lou's Holdings group, and so I talked to Mark Copley at Strike King. I said, Mark, I need to talk to somebody from Hunter Specialties that knows a little bit about the outdoors, and he said, well, you need to talk to Brad Biddle of Hunter Specialties because he's not only a hunter and everything, but he's also the owner of Behind the Lens Productions, a freelance the video man. And I said, well, let's talk to Brad. So we got Brad on the line. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Thank you for being with us. Reading a little bit about you, Paris, Kentucky, right?
Yes, sir. Paris, Kentucky.
So I've been to Paris, Tennessee. I've been to Paris, Arkansas. I've been to Paris, Texas. I got to find Paris, Kentucky. Now that'll compete my four rounds to Paris. All I know, you're in Bourbon County, right?
I'm in Bourbon County. Basically, it's east central Kentucky.
Okay.
Right in the middle of horse country up here.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I thought you were close to Jack Daniels or something like that with Bourbon County.
No.
But,
No.
But, hey, yeah. I appreciate you being with us and being part of the Hunter Specialties family and everything like that. And I know you've, as I talked to you a little earlier about that, before we talk a little about Hunter Specialties, I wanted to ask Brad because I've read a lot about him and checked up on him and everything. And being I love the name of your company, Behind the Lens Productions.
Yes, sir.
I want some tips. Say a hunter has bought a new camera, not to put on a tree and hope something walks by it, as most people do now, but has that video and is out in the blind or the duck blind or the deer stand or whatever, and wants to video a hunt. Give us some tips on that.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'd say the first thing and some of the things it's always good to have a buddy who's willing to film you in return once you film him. And it's kind of hard. So anymore, as far as my self-filming stuff, like I said, I just kind of go with it and figure it out and try to do the best I can. A lot of the cameras nowadays, they're so user-friendly. I mean, a lot of the old cameras were strictly manual focus, manual iris.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the new cameras pretty much, run themselves. So it's okay to run them in some options that you typically wouldn't before. But, really the main thing is everybody does want to film their hunts. Social media is such a big thing now.
Yes.
But the main thing is go out, have fun. Try to harvest an animal. Try your best to get it on film. But you know what? If it doesn't work out, don't worry about it. Just enjoy
do it. Yeah, just do
yes,
it.
Sir.
Well, I'm the worst there ever was at pushing buttons, and so I know I'm old style and old school. But to me, I've seen some wonderful videos on Facebook of folks who have gone out and look like they know what they're doing. Then I see some that the camera's wiggling around. You can hear somebody breathing in the background, and things along that line. But when you take a buddy out there, you're hoping that he knows what he's doing, and you got to know what you're doing.
You are. I mean, and just keep in mind, that if you're just starting out, I mean, we're all amateurs at one time. We got to learn somehow.
Right. Yeah.
So just get out there and do the best you can. Buy you a good tripod with a good fluid head on it. That way you can shoot some steady video. Learn how to use your camera. I mean, learn how to use it in manual focus. That way you can, if you're turkey hunting, you can set your focus on your decoys. And if something happens, you get a bird running out of nowhere, you're already set. You don't have to worry about, if you're in a blind, like one of the rods or something, kind of pick up your focus if you're on autofocus, or, a tree limb or something like that if you're in a tree. Just do the best you can, learn your camera, and like I said, just have fun with it. That's what it's all about.
And I know John, you've done some camera work.
Correct.
And Avery is, and this is John Gordon. He's one of our co-hosts, Brad, from Avery and Banded. And and I know that you guys really shoot some wonderful films. And you also take some great photographs. I don't know how many you take to get that one good one, but it's not as easy as you think it is.
It's not. But as Brad referred to, the equipment is so much better nowadays than it was. You think about, when I was coming up and shooting, 36 exposure rolls and things like that, where you had no idea what you were going to get.
Yourself now.
And it's just, man, to have that card with, basically limitless photos and be able to shoot, these advanced motor drives and everything else, you can really do a lot without, knowing all the nuances that really were required years ago.
Well, I would say you're in the memory making business, Brad.
Pretty much.
I mean,
pretty much.
And have done it for a while. Tell our listeners a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I started with Hunter Specialties. I think it's about 9 years ago. And my very first gig was I went to Kansas and filmed the Philip Vanderpool, and everybody's heard of Philip.
Oh yeah,
great hunter. And so that was my first gig. So I basically just got through, kind of thrown into the mix. And since then, I worked for several companies. This will be my 6th year coming up with North American Whitetail Television.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You are the videographer for them, right?
Yes, yes.
So that means. I got to ask you, it's not as easy as it looks. Dance has always told me he could do bloopers all the time.
Yes.
Because it really happens. So.
Well, it's tough. I mean, not only are you dealing with a lot of equipment, you're dealing with cold weather, trying to keep batteries charged and stuff like that. And you got to remember, just because you're the camera guy, you're still just as nervous when a buck comes in as the hunter is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to remember that you're professional, and you really need to do the best job you can do to get the job done.
Well, I think you've done that. And now talk about Hunter Specialties. I mean, I know the folks at Hunter Specialties always has something that I need. Well, maybe I don't really need it, but I want it anyway. As far as coming into the hunting season, and I always look and see what's new. You guys have come up with some things. So talk a little bit about Hunter Specialties.
Yeah, I mean, just for years, I mean, they, in my opinion, had some of the greatest products out there. For the deer hunter, you got new grunt calls. I mean, basically where they, you got Buck Bomb now, which is pretty much a
yes,
family
it is.
too.
Yes,
and you got some scrape generators. You got some different scrape products.
Amazing, yeah. Amazing.
So and one of the big things with these scrape kits they're coming out with, some of these states are trying to outlaw baiting.
Yes.
And with baiting, I mean, it's a time-consuming job. I mean, you got coons and everything else eating your feet every time you go back.
Yeah, we don't have no baiting here, but they do in other places around us. So
well, the big thing with these scrape kits basically is to take inventory of what deer you have on your property, what bucks you have on your property, just by using these scrape kits. Once you put them out there, a couple of days you're going to get one buck to come in and hit it a little bit, and then from then on they're just going to keep on coming. So it's a really great product.
I've heard about that, and I'm going to have to get me some because I know that I got a friend that's got some of those and says it works. Because I believe everything works, but I like to try it first to make sure, and just to make sure. And again, we're talking to Brad Biddle out of Paris, Kentucky, with Hunter Specialties. You're not any kin to Joe Biddle, are you?
No, sir, I'm not.
You ever heard of him?
I have not.
All right, he was a sports editor for the Nashville Tennessean forever. And so, and your name is the same name as his, so bless your heart. Maybe that's good for you. I don't know. But part of this thing, and so we're getting ready to hit the seasons are coming up. The bow season is starting here. You guys, you got one buck limit. Is that right?
We have a 1 buck limit here in Kentucky, yes, sir.
Wow. We got 2 bucks. And I can't imagine a 1 buck limit.
Well, it's, we've had it for years, and that's really what's kind of driven, really our,
you got some. You got some big ones, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We're running in there. We were first, now we're second and third. As far as states that, as far as Boone and Crockett. But
yes,
there's a lot of. But around here, like I said, right here where I live, there's a lot of horse country. So finding places to hunt is kind of. It's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, so. You are in horse country. I forgot about that. So, well, Brad, thank you for being with us on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We've got your number now. Let's stay in touch, and we'll talk down the road. Okay, buddy?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad. All right. Brad Biddle, Hunter Specialties. 1 buck limit. Man, I know how much we howled when it went down to 2 in Tennessee, and from 3. And now at least we've got that bump on the head thing off the rule, so we don't have to worry about killing a small buck right now at 150 yards and realize it's not a doe, it's a buck. Those are different kind of things. All right, take a break, come back. Hard to believe, going to close it out. St. Jude Bass Classic. What are you talking about the St. Jude Bass Classic in September, Ray? Are you going crazy? Yeah, I am. A lot of people have known that for a long time, and it's getting worse. We'll be right back.